Hello. Is this working? I hope it is. What's weird is that this glass. Why does this glass shape look better on me than my regular glasses? Wait for people to arrive. Anyone to arrive? Well, I'm here, so there's one person. Yes, I'm aware of that. I have best background, actually. Oh, is this two? Is this two? We have a like. Is that you, Lou? Somebody here? Say something. I can't see right. I'm wearing these glasses. Ah, yes. Hi, hello, me again. The autistic, repetitive, autistic asshole. Why am I wearing these? I don't know. What I want to know is why do they look better than my regular glasses? They look, the shape looks better. It's bothering me. Anyway, so yeah, we have a Gothic Christmas basically. Like just the look of me sitting here, just me and then Christmas cheer. And please appreciate this because I put this up and it's naked. There's no decorations yet because roommate hasn't come over yet. Roommate didn't. That's a different story. And I'm like didn't want to flip over all of these, so I had to put tape. It's the artist. I call it artist tape. I don't know what painter's tape. All over my names on anything. And this is Christmas. So everything is labeled. So please appreciate the effort. Oh, hi. Lamar, East Coast, neighborhood. Can't tell where your name stops and where your sentence starts. But I will call you Lamar. Hi. Thank you. Oh, hi, May. Hello, May. You gonna say hi to the peoples? Say hi, May. Why are your eyes looking like that in the camera? Lamar, neighborhood. I swear it's so difficult to tell where you're like what you're saying starts and where your name and wait. Okay. It's Christmas. Yes, it's Christmas. Love the decor. Thank you. Thank you for appreciating it. Because did you hear me explaining? No, the blue stuff. The it's so weird with the camera. The blue stuff. Trying to not dox yourself on Christmas is very difficult when you want to do it in front of your Christmas tree. Are you new here or have you subscribed? Please subscribe. I think I've done enough thus far to convince you. Like there's an effort goes into this channel. It's a mediocre channel. There's effort put in. It's just that the outcome ends up being mediocre no matter what. Lou, does May celebrate Christmas? Does she have a choice? Well, you see, cats always sort of have a choice. And she does because she gets treats and likes the treats. Yeah, I subbed last month. Oh, okay, then you're very familiar with the general content that is here. Thank you for joining live. If I forget if you've been in a line before and I ask that over and over again, it's because literally I only remember pretty much at this point like 3 people, 2 of which are my mods. So it's just me. So yes, I don't know why I was wearing these, but still, seriously, my glasses compared to this, I feel like these look better. I feel like they just look cooler. Lou, that's true. Cats are some of the only pets that choose to be their owners. That's why I like them. I was always like, do cats actually? People keep saying cats don't love you, and then I was like, I read that and I was like, oh, that makes me feel so much better. I mean, they did domesticate themselves. They were like they got smart. They were like, "Oh, these humans are kind of like they're making their water go to a certain place when they want it to, and they think we look cute. They seem to like us. All right, well, fine. We'll sit with you. All right." That's pretty much what it looked like. Literally, the ancient Egyptians worshipped cats. That's probably why they're so superior and like arrogant now. It's because they were worshipped before, if you think about it. No, as a Gothic Christmas, this gets a 9. Thank you. What's missing from it? Oh, is it because the tree's naked? Don't make it feel bad. Also, the effort went into my lipstick. I think I accidentally ended up staining my lips black because I was wondering why it was lasting so well, and I realized it was because, oh, L'Oreal lip stain lipstick actually works pretty good. And when you mix it with black eyeliner that's waterproof, we'll find out tomorrow if I'm just gonna have black lipstick on for like a week, which honestly I'm okay with. I have no problem with that. Uh, I don't tree shame. I'm glad you don't tree shame. But look, also, I we did this in my family. Put a little white sheet there. I did the white sheet thing. So I did my accomplishments, and I did the things today. I managed for the first time since I got from the rehab. I deserve congratulations. It's official that like I went to the grocery store myself. That sounds so sad that's like a huge accomplishment, but god damn it, it was. I did that, and I was really poor, and it was really stressful because I had to keep getting my coupons, and then I ended up having only a certain amount of money, and I was like, all right, here, I've got like $65, just set that there, and I had no food. You guys know I have no food. I had no food, so I had $65, and I was like, all right, there's that. And I literally had to give back some of the things that I used coupons on, and I got my coupons back for that. That's how poor I am. I couldn't afford the things that I had coupons for. If you were a literal skeleton, it would make it 10. Decor is unchanging. 10. Did you do everything on the list? I believe so. Everything that I mentioned, yes, except pick up roommate, because roommate only called me the second I got home. The second I got this home came back here. I came back inside. I had my maybes with me because she. Remember I said that she likes to keep an eye on me? I meant it literally. I hope you could see that because I couldn't tell if you could. I'm not good at this. Oh, and my ADHD meds are like wearing off. So we're at that point. We're at the hyper of the no ADHD meds hyper type of thing. And I'm not usually hyperactive, but I'm like desperately trying to will myself into not being depressed. So I'm just gonna go the other extreme until it works. And I think it's. I managed to go. I went to the grocery store. I have not gone to the grocery store by myself in like a month or so. Been stuck inside. I eased my way on date night. Lovely fiance helped me, but it was yeah. Let me check the chat. Wait, there's nothing else in the chat. I'm gonna have some apple juice. Also, I am sitting on what is called a murka. They're just like basically, imagine cushions, but the most uncomfortable kind. So they have in Saudi. They're like this, because they just sit on the floor. They don't really have, like, essentially they didn't originally have couches, so they just sit on the floor and lean against this, and it kind of makes sense. It's like just having an arm, like they call it an armchair. You just have the armchair, but without the chair part. Let's see. The tree is totally nude. It has some undergarments on. Yes, the lights are there. Some undergarments. And that's because I bought it with it pre-done. This thing is like 2 or 3 years old. It's slightly broken, I think, at the bottom. Um, Definitely uneven, but quite the sturdy little fellow. Big lots. Big lots. I just have to do this. Do all like YouTubers do that every time that they come into like try to read? Do they all go in this far, or am I the only one that's like full on in? Like, what is it? I'm 80 years old. Like, oh, I had topics planned for today. I had ideas and stuff, and as usual, I love how May is just staring at me. I could potentially like this video is gonna go up on the internet, which is forever, and that's fine. But it does make you slightly uncomfortable when there's a creature staring at you when you can't see because you don't have like even I don't want to wear my glasses, so it's like I can't quite tell, and I don't want to look her in the eye because then she'll think like she'll be like, wait, what do you want? And then this is my support animal. We're having a conversation. Meanwhile, I think she's falling asleep probably. Um, don't you mean sturdy little lady? Is that what like, as opposed to support animal, you mean sturdy little lady? She is a sturdy little lady. Are you talking about that? Oh, there's a fourth person. Is this your ghost, Lou, or is there someone else here? Because I know Lamar is here. So who else is here? Hi to whoever else is here. Um, a lot of YouTubers usually keep a few feet more breathing room to read the chat. I would get right up in your face. Just keep on these. Again, why do I have a face that looks good with like protective glasses on? What does that say? Why is it tight? Oh, it's tight back there because they're not meant for just wearing them all the time. Okay. Well, I like them. I'm gonna keep them on. I think they look nice. I don't know why, but I really like them as an accessory thing. Like since I was like 14, I would just keep them around and have them as an accessory thing. Mind you, this is also coming from the person who owns several lab coats and wears them out. I try to go manifestation. Try to be positive that I will get to be a doctor. The tree is a sturdy little lady. Ah, yes, the tree is sturdy little lady. Why am I petting a tree? You're just enabling like a potential psychosis. I'm losing my mind. I have not slept. I was wondering, I was like, why am I so out of it's because I haven't slept. I haven't slept at all. Like or I slept a little bit. I didn't want to sleep too much. After I ended the stream, I was like, I should probably have a bit of a nap because I did a few chores and then I sat down and wrote down a list and then I was like and I got dressed and everything and I was like, I don't want to pass out for too long. And so me being me, making quite the logical choice, I just was at the table and just did what I did at school. Because I remembered I knew how to do it at high school and I just took a nap. Because it was a surefire way to know I would wake up. Because if I got really tired, like full on, like there's no way you can spend a long time sleeping in that position. So it worked. Yeah, I did. I just took it sitting in a chair on a table willingly while I'm in a house that has like 3 beds and a couch. And like the floor exists, but I chose to do it on the chair. Okay, so what's the title? I don't want to lie this time about what I'm doing. I forget what I'm gonna do. My clone left, dang it. Or Lamar did, and your clone is here. I told him to stay for a little while this time. I swear, I'm gonna eternally want to know what that is. Like, if I get like a become fairly larger, like we still need to figure out a way to know whether or not your clone is there. We need to find out. Oh, Lamar, you're still here. Nope, you're still here. It's just loose clone then. You just tapped out. So what did I title this exactly? Wait a minute. Naked tree. Oh yes, sleep deprivation. I don't have to elaborate on that part. But I had a true crime case I wanted to talk about. If you talk about true crime, you will have fulfilled every promise in the title. Great, I was literally just talking about true crime. I have a true crime case that I wanted to talk about because it touches on multiple things that are fascinating, and also it's a case. I'm going to do the disclaimer. Multiple things. One, I do not mean any disrespect to anyone, especially not the family members, because in this case, they're really trying to like. It's been 10 years. This is a 10-year-old case, and they wanted more people to talk about it, and that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And really, there's not a lot of people are talking about it. I saw this from Kendall Ray's channel. This is the thing that I was gonna talk about the other day, that I literally was late to a stream, told you guys to wait because I wanted to watch, because I couldn't stop watching it because it's such a fascinating case. It's gonna drive me crazy. I need to put my glasses on. I am that blind that I won't be able to tell if there's anything new in the chat. It's literally an arm's length away from me, and I won't be able to tell. I'll be able to see that there's stuff there, but I won't be able to tell if it's new stuff or not. That was on purpose. I just did that because. So yes, I mean, no disrespect to anyone, and I have ADHD and autism, and so I'm going to be all over the place. So I really may seem callous or whatever, but I understand that this is a human being. This happened to a human being, so I'm not going to take it lightly of what happened to them. And I make dark jokes because that's just how I deal with it, but my bods will call me out if I go too far, and I won't joke, obviously, about the person. I don't make those kind of jokes. Only jokes I make are about usually how dumb the criminals are. But I mean this with no disrespect, and any of the information, if I get anything wrong, please correct me, peoples. And I'm just trying to talk about something I found interesting that has a psychological aspect to it, like a psychology related part. And it involves medication too. So it involves psychopathology and psychopharmacology. Again, nothing in the chat. Okay, I guess I'm very interesting. The reason I keep checking is because it's like I don't know if the thing is still going. I can't necessarily tell. So I'll probably be looking at my screen a lot, because that's where my that's where I have the info up. And I'm just going off of what I remember, but I wanted to do this more of a discussion, because the fact there is not much, like, it's not a very mysterious case. I just realized I haven't said who it is, but anyways, this case is the case of Ellen Ray Green. No, you're not being a snooze. What's a snooze? A bore? Oh, okay. That's good. All right, perfect. Okay, so this is the case of Ellen Ray Greenberg. If I say something wrong, again. And also, I'll say trigger warning, just because it's obviously a true crime case. And also, this one we're gonna have to get pretty detailed into the gory details, and I mean that literally. Like, just to be able to understand it. I don't even know how to screen share, so I wouldn't put photos, and I can't if I wanted to. So I there's that. So we're not doing that, but I just am gonna have to explain some things, and you'll understand once we get there. So just to make sure, I'm gonna be going off of basic articles because that's all there is. And what I watch what I liked is that I watched in Kendall Ray's video. She did a collaboration with the family, so I got to hear some bits and pieces from like even her father. And I have a pretty good memory, and I'm hoping I get everything right and I remember it all. But let's keep going. So I'm obviously going to be using things like Oxygen, CBS. Unfortunately, not all incredibly reputable, but like and Wikipedia. But when it comes to stuff like this, when it's a case, I'm not doing like a. I'm not. I would love to be Stephanie Arlo, but and I'm not doing a Wikipedia recitation type of thing. I'm just doing an analysis more of it. So yeah, like print photographs. Interestingly, I literally can't for this because of an interesting part of the case. Even if I were a person that wanted to put autopsy photos, which I wouldn't, um, this case gets interesting. So, Ellen Greenberg, she was born the 23rd of June, 1983. And she died on the 26th of January, 2011. She's 27 years old when she died. She was a first grade teacher at the, I am probably going to butcher the names of these things, Juniata, I think it's Juniata Park Academy in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She was an only child and was born in New York City, to Josh and Sandy Greenberg. So I often get very interested in the cases, not so much on the parts of the human parts, but I'm just going to say I don't want to dehumanize person. So I'm going to take a moment to say that we're going to psychoanalyze what happened. Mind you, my ADHD meds are off, and I've never done. Okay, we're just gonna go with it. What happens, happens. Anyway, so she was engaged and she was living with her fiance, and she was a first grade teacher, and she seemed happy, but she seemed to be anxious with her new job. But she didn't seem to be like, nobody was seeing like obvious things, signs of concern, which understandably, it's always like a lot of the time people can surprise you where that's not helping me. A lot of the times people can surprise you, and things can happen. They can do something to themselves, like if they're anxious, or it could end up killing themselves and you don't know it. But that's the weird thing about this case, is because everyone around her, she was on medication. She was on Klonopin. She was on, which is clonazepam, and she was prescribed Zoloft, sertraline, which I'm on actually, and she was prescribed Ambien, which is a pretty strong but shorter lasting sleep sleep medication. I just realized the reason I'm kind of like all over the place because I'm trying to do this in a very in the way that I've seen other true crime people do, but that's not what I do anyway. So, what happened in this case is she's kind of stressed out. She just moved to a new place. She's like has to do this new job. She loves this job though. She really was enjoying it. She's anxious, goes to a shrink, and then she starts to get better. And there were even like texts of her saying, thank God, like the Klonopin's really helping. And also a note is that at the time of her death, the only thing that they found in her bloodstream was the Klonopin, and which is the clonazepam, which is a benzodiazepine, and the Ambien. They did, or mixture. I will double check because this is an important part. They only found two of the drugs. They did not find all three of them. It's so hard to figure out like the exact order of what to how to tell the story. So I'm gonna read off like one of the parts of it. I'm just gonna read it and then I'm gonna go into the analysis. I think that'll be easier. So this is from Oxygen, and it's, or not Oxygen, I saw one that was better. It was on, I chose the wrong one to do this, but okie dokie. So, people still here? Is an idea actually coming across? Because it's been like half an hour and I'm all over the place and I'm trying not to be, and I'm sleep deprived, but I wanted to try anyways. I'll keep going. So, she was a first grade on the day of her death. She sent the first grade students home. Like they were all like sent home early because of a blizzard. And she went, and it was confirmed that she went to, I think your message is getting across so far. Okay, good. Thank God. It's just sort of all really messy, but you get what you get. And it was confirmed that she went to go get gas. So then she returned to her apartment, and it was the one that she shared with her fiance, whose name was Sam Goldberg. And it says at 4:45 p.m., Goldberg went to the gym. When he returned roughly 30 minutes later, the swing lock was activated from the inside, and he shouted at Greenberg, but received no response. According to authorities, over the course of more than 20 minutes, Goldberg sent a series of increasingly frantic texts to his fiance's phone. And by frantic, it also included like, I'm getting pissed, blah, 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 blah. That's what I saw there. And firstly, I'd like to stop and say, I'm not going to make the assumption that it's the fiance. And all of my opinions are alleged and all that, but it's not looking good already, because who goes to the gym for 30 minutes? Like I do, because I'm really lazy. But who is like regularly goes to the gym? A person who is a regular to go to a gym. Like, not just, also it's not like just staying at the gym for half an hour. That's not what I mean. I mean like, he went there, was at the gym, and got back in all of about 30 minutes. That's what's really weird. It's just like, even I, who does not like exercising whatsoever, and I will have gone to the gym for like, 20 minutes, but it'll be 20 minutes at the gym. And I still will need time to get back. Yeah, maybe it could be half an hour, but only if, like, even if I was in my apartment complex, it was right next to it, in like old apartment complexes, it does seem odd. I think I'm getting my groove now. That's not even worth the trip for gas if it was that short. No. The gas part was Ellen. That was her. She got gas. She came home. This is Sam. Sam went to the gym. Oh, you were saying that it wouldn't be worth the trip with gas. Oh, I was thinking that it was the one for their apartment complex, because I didn't see it specified anywhere, not in any of the videos either. because a lot of apartment complexes usually have gyms, but I can't imagine if somebody's driving, then it's even worse. It's like that's just ridiculous. That just makes no sense. I feel like I don't know, that's just a weird thing to do, and it's weird also because it's a weird thing to lie about, in the sense that even if you were trying to cover something up, why don't you just say you went to the gym? That could be a place with cameras. Why don't you go to, like, a convenience store? Like, you want snacks? Like, something that's less weird to spend so little time at. There's very few places that it's weird to spend a small amount of time at. Very few places. Like, it's very strange for a place for it to be it's normally weird for you to spend too much time in a place. It's not many places where it's strange for you to spend too little time. So I don't know what was going on. And I know I'm bringing this off with my own bias, but cut me some slack. I'm still new to the whole like true crime thing, but I just really like the talking about it. And when after all those like frantic the frantic messages and everything, he tried to go to the person, like the person that'll be there to ask, like in those apartment complexes that are bigger, to go ask like, can you come open this unit for me? I live here, like that. I think they'd be like the guard or whoever that person is. I am going to just not focus on these details because they're not as pertinent to the case, and the guard obviously said no. Now, there's a part of the story that's weird where Sam said that when he went to break down the door, the guard was there, but Sam was the one that did it because the guard couldn't. But it was only Sam that did it. And that's very strange to me. Because also, the guard said he wasn't there at all. And it's like, why do you even need the guard? It's just so strange to me because it's the guy's statements aren't matching up, and it's very, very, very weird things that aren't matching up, if that makes sense. So that's when they realized that while he was trying to break in, the biggest problem that was because there was obviously he had a key to it, was the swing ones. For those of you that don't know, or anyone that rewatches it, it's the kind that looks like this and it hooks over like that, and you can like move it out back. I don't know if that was a good I don't know if that was a good visual or made absolutely no sense, but I hope it made sense. I've had those before. And what gets me is that I want to just ask. Okay, good, Lou, you got it. I want to just ask. To me, that would be really easy. Like, it was a very big focal point in the case, because a big theory in the case is like, is it suicide or homicide? Which I'm guessing was gathered by now. If not, and I'm not trying to like build the suspense with this. I don't have the eerie music. I don't have the editing skills. But one of the reasons that they hung on to also the suicide, one of their like evidence is that the swing lock was on. I've had one of those. I feel like it really like you could. There are Kendall said in her video there are videos online with strings, and I just thought of it the second that when I was thinking about like why would that stop it from being considered a homicide? Like if I wanted to get into, not like to kill someone, but if I just wanted to get into somewhere that had that, the obvious thing that would come in my head is just like grab some dental floss even, and you could use it. Dental floss is pretty sturdy. Just grab some dental floss. If you work at it enough, it's like picking a lock. You can figure out a way. It's very difficult if you don't know what you're doing. It's not like an easier thing, but it's not an open and shut thing of saying this definite. It's not a vault. This doesn't guarantee that nobody can get in. Anyway, so they walk in, and the way that the place was oriented, it was very much, not very much. It was very like, when you walk in, the kitchen was basically right there, and her body was. It was very obvious that she was deceased, and she was, like, slumped up against the cabinets, like, kinda like if sitting down, like if a person fell asleep against cabinets like that. So now we get into the gory details. This is your final warning. Going to say that firstly, there was no sign of forced entry other than Sam's forced entry. No struggle. She was holding a like pristinely white towel in one hand. Oddly, this case is very, very strange. I'm trying to get the exact number of injuries so I can make sure I don't miss anything. Yep. Okay. There were a total of 20 stab wounds, including 10 back of the neck and 11 there were a total of 10 stab wounds and 10 of them were at the back of her neck. And there were a total of also 11 bruises at various stages of like healing. You know, like some bruises they can be yellowish, they can be more of the purplish, it depends on what it is. Which is very interesting that they would be a lot of them. And in the video, in Kendall's video, and I keep referencing hers because it had like the little bits of the family talking. Apparently, in the final report, the person tried to say, the police were like saying it was that from yoga, and the clip that Kendall had of I believe it was her father was like she doesn't do yoga, so that's sketchy. And then what's also sketchy is the fact that it was initially ruled as like, yeah, I know, right? Like you got to be bruises from yoga. They were trying to say that she got like easily bruises from yoga. I can get how you could get bruises falling over or something like that. I get bruises a lot like that. But she wasn't known to do yoga. And wouldn't you like, I don't know, yoga is a pretty chill activity. And they didn't say she had any iron deficiency. That's why I have to keep clearing my throat. Those are some intense downward dogs. No disrespect to the family because the family may find this. That must have been. They'd have to be, honestly. Because that's some bullshit. Actually, no, it's not disrespectful because that doesn't happen. I can't imagine it happening. Like, because also she didn't do yoga, apparently. Or the police were saying that she did. Interesting how it was originally ruled as homicide or undetermined, and then it was changed to suicide. And then a lot of reports kept getting lost. Autopsy, things like that. There's a really funny, like, interesting quotes about that. It's so fucked up. But what I want to understand is they were trying to say that two things. One is they were saying that one of the reasons she may have been suicidal is because of the medications. As a person who's essentially a guinea pig for so many medications, I have taken an incredible amount of medications. And I'm also on one of the ones that she was on, Zoloft. Now, not all three were in her system, but all three do have the potential to cause suicidal thoughts and ideations, and have been linked to it. But a lot of people put that on antidepressants. They just love to highlight those cases. But firstly, if there were enough of them, then the drug would not be out. And yes, I truly believe that drugs just some people, you got to listen to the patient. Some people it just doesn't work for them. But this type of thing is what makes it scary for people like me, where I'm like, I feel like if I got murdered, Just gonna say it now. If I die and I'm not like 80, please look into it more. I know I am mentally ill. There's always that possibility of suicide, but be very sure, because that's what's scary with this, is that that's why I don't like this, is that whole idea of, oh, it's the drugs. And that's the thing, the family doesn't think that it was suicide. And so it's terrifying with that idea. And I'm on Zoloft. I remember what it was like when I first started Zoloft. The first 4 to 6 weeks kind of sucked. The beginning, you've got that, maybe the placebo effect, you kind of feel better. Sometimes it's not that bad for people, sometimes it is. But just imagine, like, it's so scary, the thought of like, oh, you were mentally ill? Nobody could murder you. You killed yourself. It's just a really creepy thought. um, and there was a whole like controversy over, she killed her. I don't know. They ruled it as a suicide, by the way. It's ruled as a suicide, but the family's trying to get them to change it. Tell me how a person can stab themselves in the neck 10 times, in the back of the neck. And one of the theories was that it could have hit one of the nerves that would cause numbness and tingling, and maybe she couldn't feel it. That was so bizarre to me, because my initial thought was, what about like when you go to the dentist? You ever notice how it's hard for you to keep a straw in your mouth? If you feel numb, unless it's very specifically stopping, you'd have to not feel the nerves of pain. That's very different from just not being able to feel anything. Because if you can't feel anything, it's like if your foot fell asleep. You walk on it funny. You can't hold things right, much less get enough pressure to stab the neck. Ow, that hurt. See, that hurt. And be very, very much a deterrent. And the fact that also, even though if you're trying to kill yourself, firstly, stabbing is one of the kinds that it's a less common type, and also has a bit of a, I think the mortality rate is a little bit lower, because also it takes a lot of force. You have to build a lot of momentum to actually, like, if you're stabbing yourself, much less the back of your neck, and to do it over and over and over again. I just let me check what you said. Oh, no, 20 stab wounds. Just 10 specifically at the back of the neck. Just to be clear, because that's obviously something very common with suicides. When your arm get tired after stab 7 or 8. Yeah, things like that. Of course, you got the adrenaline going through. And a lot of people were like, well, there's no sign of struggle. There is a phenomenon where people who are you're just stunned. I forget the exact, like, the term that they use in police work, where the person who was stabbed just doesn't do anything, but it makes sense. If, say, in a very unfortunate situation, husband and wife, it's like, oh honey, what do you want for dinner? Like, I really don't want to be disrespectful with this video, but I'm just trying to be very, like, this just doesn't make sense to me. Like, that's totally possible for you to not fight someone if you don't know, if you don't expect, if you completely have no idea and would never think it's gonna happen. Especially, that's why I lean a bit more towards the fiance. I don't know. Apparently, this guy has moved on with his life. I think he has kids. I'm not. It's all alleged. This is just my idea. I just feel like, I don't even know if it was him, but I feel like it must have been. I really don't think it's suicide, and I really feel like it would have had to been a surprise at the very least. With that amount of stabbing, it's unusual for it not to be personal. So nobody sue me. Could be totally someone else. But it's not very often. It's not a, and that's an incredibly, stabbing already isn't that common of a way to kill yourself, much less at the back of the neck 10 times after you also stab yourself 10 times elsewhere. Like, I know adrenaline is a powerful thing, but so is, like, pain. There's probably like that's why the medical records were like people kept trying. There was a whole thing about like, did it sever the spinal cord? Like, did it make her? Did it make her? Is that what killed her or not? Or no, I don't think she died from that. But did it make her like paralyzed or like it was just that whole thing? The whole thing of like, is it suicide or not? And I hate the way that they're pushing the whole suicide idea specifically because she was diagnosed, I believe, with like adjustment disorder, which is you can have acute adjustment disorder, which is just that can happen when you're literally, as it sounds, adjusting to something. Or and you can have just anxiety. To be fair, when I heard that like I thought it was very strange that she was prescribed clonazepam and Ambien. But then again, thinking of what I'm on, unless they were really really low doses. If it was really low doses, maybe I could get it. But as a first time person, I don't know. But I don't know how long it was. I don't know her full psychiatric history. We don't know much about it. That's the thing that sucks. They're just like, yep, suicide. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna check the chat. Stabbing is an ineffective method of suicide if you live in America when you just get a gun. I've heard of a lot of people getting paralyzed by fear in those situations and just don't fight back. Yeah, there's the fight or flight or freeze, really. And also it's not just that. It's even if you're not paralyzed by fear, it's you're surprised by the first stab and we don't know. I don't know which one was the first stab. I don't have the autopsy report. I don't think anybody does. So we don't know which one was the first one. And if the first one was at the back of the neck, then they could either killed her, severed her spine, the spinal nerve, because within the column, within the spinal column, there's a whole little bundle of nerves, so all the little like basically like the electricity. Think of a bunch of wires and cords going together. Did it sever that? That's the whole thing, and they've had different forensic pathologists looking at it and getting different opinions on it and all that. But it's so I shouldn't have done this while I was so sleep deprived, and it's probably like really hard to follow my train of thought. But I guess this is what an ADHD trying to tell true crime next to a Christmas tree. Really randomly, I haven't prepared any notes or anything. This is just me literally talking to you about a case. I'm not presenting a true crime case. So I'm just talking about, so this sounded real weird to me. The spinal cord and the nerves are a pretty big point in this case and determine whether it was really a suicide or homicide. I mean, for an ambivalent police force, why would they spend time, money, and resources looking into a woman's death if they can just rule it as suicide due to mental illness? It's sick, really. I know. The thing is, it's like I could understand why they might even think stabbing. I just can't get past 10 stabs in the neck because there's a reason like you can't like hold your breath until you die. Your body forces yourself to breathe. There is a point, that's why pain exists. There is a point where your body will fight to survive. That's what a lot of like there's a lot of things that happen when you're dying, but like when it's sudden like that's like when you get a cut, how it starts to clot. Your body is built to try to heal itself. When in most cases, hopefully, works when it's working right. But it's meant to do that. And if you're doing that to yourself, I'm not even questioning. I'm not even sitting here trying to argue. Like, I don't think there's an argument of suicide versus homicide. Almost like I can say, okay, on the one-off chance, but I would say that I'd say that with all the certainty of pretty much another murder case, to be honest, that it could have been suicide. It's just it's like It's really hard to believe that somebody could stab themselves 20 times, 10 of which are in the back of the neck. And I don't care if you're numb and tingling, that you can't do it fast enough. And a really good point that I heard was the amount of force, like the amount of force that you need. Like, even though your neck is delicate in terms of like breaking, it's not easy when you're stabbing it. Like, it's not like you just have a scalpel around hanging around, or you have a really sharp sword. No, if you're using a kitchen knife, they could be really sharp, but I'm guessing unless you're really fancy chef, they're not like super. It's not that easy. And bone is not exactly. It's not butter, and even butter can be annoying to cut into. Hey, for someone who is sleep deprived, you're pretty coherent to answer your description of real time in real time question. It's highly unlikely this was a suicide. The bruises, yeah, the bruises too. I mean, you can bruise yourself, but 11 bruises in various stages of healing. So that says something. And I don't know about that yoga class, but if you've got 11 bruises and they're all in different stages of healing, I'd probably stop trying to do that one move or do it in a different way, because it's not like they're all like you had one really bad yoga class. It doesn't make sense. This whole thing, I don't like it because it doesn't make sense. And I'm thinking about it now, and I probably couldn't explain this better even if I weren't sleep deprived, because it just, ew, these are the thing. These cases bother me because it's like, this is what happened, and I want to know what happened, and I want the people should know what happened. The family should not be dealing with this. The family should not. This is like spitting in the family's face. Who's gonna look at this and be like, yeah, totally, totally. It's hard enough to learn how to do a French braid, much less stab yourself in the neck 10 times. And imagine that's either after you stabbed yourself elsewhere, so it would hurt to move, or after you stabbed yourself in the neck, you just keep going. Like, even if you're numb, like different parts of your body have different types of pain. If it was completely, if she severed that thing, she'd be just be paralyzed, and you'd be in severe pain, even if you didn't sever it. But if she even nicked it, severing it, nicking it, it's gonna be severe pain. Why? Because it's literally the center of your nerves. It's part of the central nervous system. It's gonna be really fucking painful. You can be the most frail woman. You stab yourself to get past cartilage, bone, and meat. Oh, I'm guessing you said you'd have to be. And yoga isn't cage fighting if she even did yoga. The father said she didn't, and it's honestly, if I get maybe if you do it on your own, but they were like trying to say it was class. I don't know. It's such a bizarre case. And again, I hope that I haven't presented this disrespectfully, because I know the family is going through shit trying to figure this out. I don't want to get shit for not presenting it right. I swear a lot, but that's because this is very, very frustrating. Incredibly frustrating. Because I've been in some dark places. I just 10 times in the. It just logistically, even if you really, really wanted to die, it logistically doesn't make sense. Like, ooh, my boot, like, completely, I think, ripped up this thing. Sorry, that sounded like the zipper on my boot is over here, and it like scraped across the thing that I showed you that I'm sitting on. Something smells in this case. Nah, this reeks. It does. It does. Just it doesn't sit well with me. I'm having trouble swallowing. Can't swallow this is very hard to swallow because it's not it actually, I'm gonna give myself a ton of credit for being able to get this case out like this. And I just want to find this one phrase that I found in one of the things, like the articles. Okay, let me see. When interviewed by the Inquirer in 2018, Dr. Lucy Roque Adams confirmed she did contract work for medical examiner's office. But further investigation by the newspapers revealed there was no bill, invoice, or report from Roque Adams for this case. They were saying this is after. Oh, sorry. The one before that they were like they had other people come in during the autopsy. Apparently, it was said that they saw it. I don't know. Like they just switched it. They switched up all the results suddenly. Okay, let me start from it says this goes against an expert apparently consulted during the autopsy, as mentioned. Yes, this was during the autopsy. There was an expert that was apparently consulted with, and it was mentioned in the original medical examiner's report. Neuropathologist Dr. Lucy Roque, something I can't pronounce that, examined the spinal cord and concluded there is no defect of the spinal cord. When interviewed, and then it goes. The whole thing, it doesn't make sense. There are too many names here, but there's just this one part that I want you to hear. This person actually said this. I would conclude that I did not see the specimen in question, although there is a remote possibility that it was shown to me, she wrote to the Inquirer. However, I have no recollection of such a case. I think she just learned what a thesaurus was. And yeah, someone is being protected here. I feel like I actually don't know if it's protected. I feel like it's just it might be laziness. I don't know what it is. I just know that it's not that this needs to, at the very least, if you're going to go by the justice system, there is no proof beyond reasonable doubt. Let's see. Or maybe the woman in the family was affluent enough for the police to care to look deeper. Probably, honestly. It's a very frustrating case. I wanted to share that. I love how this is like what I'm putting out in a stream before Christmas is a true crime thing, and this is one of an extremely hectic stream. But I really like that I actually did a Christmas theme in the background. That's cool because for Halloween it was a moot point because it always looks like Halloween in my apartment. Let's see. To look deeper, it was just a glance at the body, learned she was mentally ill, marked as suicide. Exactly. This was fascinating. It was. I just got extremely upset with the whole, oh, it was the Zoloft, because they really pushing the Zoloft, and I've seen this time and time again. They push the Zoloft, and I'm like, I just want to be like, I've been there. I've been in some dark places, and I never blamed my Zoloft. And I know it's not a one size fits all, but it's just you can't tell me in a case where a woman has 10 stab wounds in the back of her neck that Zoloft cracks the case and tells you that it was suicide. If it had it as a side effect, I'd be dead. but it has suicidal ideation as a potential thing that's very rare. The drug would not be approved. It would not be out there. It's just when anything can cause suicide, that then it's going to be scrutinized. But the problem is people are given this and it messes with the chemicals in the brain of somebody who already is very, very depressed. So kind of are playing with fire in a way, but that's why I don't always like SSRIs, because the way what kind of medication it is an selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, which is serotonin is something important in your brain. It's like a happy drug, and it's what's theorized to be like they notice there's a chemical imbalance of it in depression that's lacking. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. There are two kinds. There's the non-selective, but then there's the selective. Zoloft is selective. And what selective ones do is basically what your body does is it spits out, just to simplify it, within the neurons, it'll spit out some of the serotonin and then suck it back up. And then some will be left for your body in the bloodstream. But depression, there won't be enough left. So essentially, what the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors do is they are very, like it's in the name, they're very selective about the reuptake of the serotonin. They stop too much of it from being taken back so that there's still enough. But they can take 4 to 6 weeks to work. And yes, it can be worse for some people. And it's common that in the beginning it gets worse before it's better. I think there's a lot more to do with that's why I'm not always for, like, depending on the case about SSRIs. They can really help people, but I think it's really stupid to jump to that because it's like half the country at this point is on like Prozac, aren't they? So many people are on it. You're telling me every single murder case is caused by it? That doesn't make sense. Let's see. They should put that on the label. Warning, this may make you stab yourself 10 times in the neck. Based on what the officers have concluded with this case, honestly. What a fucking joke of an investigation. Seriously. Like, they hung on to it, and I appreciated the YouTubers, the other YouTubers who do true crime. They're so nice, and they're so, like, really trying to be so respectful, and I'm, like, not trying to do anything, but I want to make these, I'm, like, seriously make these jokes, too, because I'm not trying to make light of what happened to her, but make light of the fact that it's just, I can't comprehend it, as it just sounds like a joke. It sounds like a joke that police officers could do that, could formally say that this wasn't. It's not even like the theory, the like I'm. It's not like the whole what a joke type of thing. Like you said, what a fucking joke. It literally sounds like this would be a joke. Like, if I didn't know this was real, I probably wouldn't have believed it. I just think this was like a whole, like, it could be a scary story or something, or it would be in a novel. I wouldn't, like, the mental gymnastics you have to go through to figure out a way to call this suicide, or at the very least to not, like, there was also assisted suicide. I'm not saying she wasn't depressed. I'm not saying I know everything about it. I don't know what was there. I just think that she was not given a fair investigation, and I personally do not believe that it was suicide. And I also have, like, try not to rip my teeth out right now. It's more rare to find someone in the country who doesn't take any form of prescription drug. Guess all Americans should just be placed on suicide watch. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is what makes me so angry. that this can go, that this can happen, that this can. That's what it's scary too. Maybe a good thing that I'm documenting this in a video journal. Like, if you hear news about, if you see me in the paper, let's positive vibes that that doesn't happen to me, because I have a feeling my investigation would be shit. Like, but please, positive vibes to you too, Lou, because I only see you there. Is, you and I, your ghost is in here. So positive vibes to you. I'm gonna take my meds. I swear I didn't plan this. Hmm. Put away the knives. Damn it, I've been leaving the knives out every single night since I started taking these. Like, in comparison, there were many nights where that was not an issue. I'd ratio it. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I've had my dark times, but definitely it was more so when I was in balance, not when I didn't happen just magically from. They just looked at this. They literally essentially looked at this and were like, you know what? Close investigation. This cracked the case. They just think mental illness is a joke. They think that you can literally go. Either they're stupid enough to think that you can go ape shit and genuinely get to a point that your body does not do things that can do things that are not physiologically possible just because you're on some sort of drug. It's not like you're Spider-Man. You didn't get bit by a spider. I don't even watch Marvel, whatever it is. I don't know it, but I man, they'll find out about your mental disorders in half Arab and just bag and tag you. Honestly, they'll grab my half Arab ass and just be like, "All right, where do you want her?" Like, what would you say those dark times were? Would you say those dark times were caused by the pill um, or by where you were in life? The most recent, really, a lot of them. I can't imagine a single one of them that was caused directly from a pill. I remember once Zoloft triggered, because I am bipolar. It triggered a manic episode, but like a bit of a manic episode, because that's kind of a way like to find out if you're bipolar, is because people who aren't bipolar won't have that. But my doctor also didn't give me enough of an antipsychotic to balance it out, and also I kind of was ignoring it and didn't want to take the antipsychotic that I was supposed to be taking. And I think I don't know if it was the drug or not, but it may have just been me, because I was on I don't think I was on enough of a dose. And then I found out I was bipolar, so it made sense. So I don't think you could say that I would do that. But even when I was going apeshit, I thought people were trying to kill me, but and I was like, I got to do it first. But I didn't try to. I wasn't superhuman. I didn't. And the dark times, like anything after that time though, that was very, very, very early on. That was probably way before it could have like bounced out in my system, because SSRIs, like, it's very different in my case. And I don't want to like claim that I know whether or not it was. It may have just been a manic episode, regardless, and I happened to be on it, or it may have been caused by it. I think it was caused by it. I think I was just not medicated properly, because I hated Seroquel, because it just made me feel like a zombie, and I was tired of. I did not like it. But most of the time, those dark times would be caused by like really bad things happening or just my mood swinging because I preferred to take a lower dose of stuff and sacrifice it and deal with a bit more mood swings instead of doing the higher ones because I like being very, very much of a snarky genius type of asshole thing. I like the quick wit. It's all about balance, but I'm not a good example. Never have been, never will be. A snarky genius asshole. What you like? Is that like the perfect description? Oh, and did you notice that you hit 45? Yeah, I saw yesterday I did. I was so happy. I was so excited about it. I get excited every time I get like one person. When it's like one person that's not like one of those creepy people that's like, yeah, sure, I'll sub. And then they act weird and then they unsub. When it's like an actual person. I know. Just streaming so much is good. Okay, close topic of this one. Now it'll be maybe ranting about stuff. Speaking of what I was saying, like I am not like. I just find it funny how Tana Mojo is always saying like I'm not. I am a role. I'm not good. I should acknowledge that I'm a role model. Like nobody actually. Like this is just a really way off topic, but I was just always thinking like, who told Tana Mojo that she was a role model? She just had young viewers. Like I have people who are younger than me watching me. I'm not their role model just because they happen to be younger than me. There have been some creeps who sub then begin their creeping. They could at least have kept the sub once Snow or myself boots them. Yeah, just for the algorithm, man. Because when it docks right away, it's like, oh, you lost a sub that quickly. It's like, fuck you, YouTube. That person was asking me very inappropriate questions that somehow slipped through your algorithm. What was I looking for? Oh yeah, one time. I don't see you as a role model. I think it's unhealthy to see people you don't know, like YouTubers, as role models. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But what I mean is, like, I thought it was hilarious. Like, I was just saying with Tana Mojo how she was like, people, I have to accept that I can be a role model to people. And it's like, no, you don't. Just don't be a dick and don't. If you keep telling people that you're trying to be a role model and you act like shit, then you're gonna be told that you're a shitty role model because you set yourself up. You played yourself. You guys taught me that. I use that right? I do see you as an intelligent, preserving person. That's always something to look up to. Aw, thank you. Preserving? I'm not jam. I don't think you mean preserves. So I'm not sure what you mean. I think you can look up to like characteristics people or look up to someone. I think that I'm very flattered. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Persevering, yeah. Resilience, like, and it's just like I don't take bullshit, but my ability to tolerate what it is to get what I want. So like, I feel like if I had emotions, I'd be dead by now. Dark thought, but am I wrong? Yeah, I see you as a jar of jelly, a smart one at that. Better be boysenberry. I want to be boysenberry jam if I had to be jam. This would be the cool kind. Tastes good. It's also the one that's not usually around, so I might not get eaten as quickly. I feel like if I had emotions, I'd be dead by now. What does that mean to you? Because I know what it means to me, but I'm curious how it sounds to you. Because I'm pretty sure that sounds very, very funny to someone who's not in my head. Because when I say things like that, they aren't necessarily inappropriate. They're not inappropriate, but it's like people just stop and they're like, "What? You don't look like you're about to like kill yourself, but are you? But what?" My mind didn't hesitate for a second to picture you as boysenberry jam. Thank you. Much appreciated. Very disappointing. I have peanut butter now. I don't have bread though, so it's still tortillas. But this time I got shredded cheese, so I pretended that I made myself an enchilada. Yeah, I ate earlier. I ate an enchilada. It was good. I didn't put enough cheese though, and I think the tortillas are stale, but there's no mold, so I can still eat them. I mean, people don't kill themselves for a lack of emotions. Isn't it usually for a lack of control of their emotions? Well, I guess it depends because some people describe depression as feeling numb. That can be one of the feelings of depression. That's a whole other top can of worms. I think that's the phrase. Phrases, or metaphors and phrases are great to like shorten something and explain something, but also they make no sense. And people think I say things that are weird. But people use phrases like birds of a feather flock together. It's like, how the fuck is that relevant to talking about when you're talking about like, yeah, I made some new friends. It sounds and then people think when I'm being literal, I'm being weird. Oh, you're talking about worms and monkeys and feathers and doves and roses by any other name, whatever other name it is. I just find that emotions quote pretty funny. Yeah. You should probably keep a note of the quotes and maybe eventually. What I love are stickers. I think if I get merch, I want stickers. Like I'd want my own stickers. I just love stickers. Like, I love putting them on my laptop. I always get sad when I break the laptop inevitably, usually because then I lose all the stickers. I've tried to salvage some of them though, especially out of context. Especially out of context and not knowing who or where it came from. Yeah, sometimes I take down some notes like out of context quotes, and I've done that with fiance. Let me see if I got any. Oh, one of them was roommate borrowed my phone and then came and was like, I need to talk to you about something. I just saw this. I wasn't looking through your phone, but I just saw this because I was just trying to write down something in a notepad. And I just wanted to check with you. It was because it said don't do meth to prove a point. She was genuinely concerned, and I was like, no, it was this is just out of context quotes. But it was so funny because she was so worried. She was like, I really need to talk to you about something. I think oh wait, roommate is on team. No, meth is on my hard no list. I'm not saying. I'm just saying meth is a hard no. So I got a nose job, man, And as it is, certain habits that I was trying to get rid of, not those kinds, like eating habits. Also, just I have a lot of allergies and congestion. I think this is the side they may have made more incision or may have done more of the stitches on or something because the scar tissue, because it just hurts inside my nose. She's on to your meth addiction. Come now. We all know that I wouldn't be addicted. I'd be making it. And no, I wouldn't because meth wouldn't do anything to me. Are you kidding? I have my ADHD is way too strong. It's not gonna do jack shit to me. Like it will, but it'll be very, very much like it'll be. I don't see that it's worth it. Don't want my teeth to fall out. They're already having issues as it is. I don't like going to the dentist. And I pretty much like to vape things. That's it. Not big on smoking. Quit smoking. I vape because I quit smoking. Man, once you mention nose job, whenever you show your side profile, I always think of your nose job. Unpopular opinion: meth not may not be the healthiest of drug choices. Well, I guess that would be considered an unhealthy opinion. An unhealthy opinion. I gotta go, man. I gotta go. I think it's time for me to I need to eat some food, watch a show, and get some sleep soon because I'm talking about unhealthy opinions now. Those exist, I'm sure, but how is this one of the videos that gets 3 likes? Are you going to put this up? I'm thinking I will because I don't see why not. It's a really fascinating case. It's just like I doubt anybody who's rewatching it will get. They're gonna have good luck with the first like 20 minutes of this because it's just me sitting there trying to figure out how to talk. But I think I'm gonna keep this one up. Once I put it up, could you by any chance do the pinned comment with the links? Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna write that down. I don't feel like writing it down. You'll probably remind me. You remember my quotes. Man, it's gonna be so much fun if I get merch. I might just like have probably 10 people who want to get merch, but I'll just still make merch because it's just cool. I just want to have my own stickers. It's the same as like ordering your own personalized stickers from Etsy, isn't it? Yeah, my voice is giving out on me. I'm gonna finish this, say cheers. What do you want to timestamped? Just do a general warning of the video. Just say like the video lightly touches on suicide. It doesn't really talk much of it. Lightly touches on suicide. Yeah, the warnings and links too. Do you know the link to that? And then let me. I wonder if they're. I don't. Oh, I'd love to put the what's it called? Those the tip lines. Okay, for anyone that gets through to the end, there's always anonymous tip lines that you can call. So if you know anything about this case, please do call it because please do call those anonymous tip lines. Yeah. It is better to be safe than sorry. I don't want people to get up like triggered, and I don't want people to like. It's also just so respectful and like to the family. And I think I'm not gonna put her name in the title because I still want to keep Naked Christmas Tree, and I don't think that Naked Christmas Tree that would definitely be disrespectful. Some class, I guess. I really appreciate all your help. I'll take a bit, and I'm probably gonna have to um, I always have to adjust the tags. Oh, but I can put in a bunch of more true crime with this. Also, I am a dumbass, and I just started realizing that I should usually put my name, like Electra Solstice, as a tag because that way, if you search Electra Solstice, my videos will come up. That's how dumb I am with this. See, you have some standards. My standards are either incredibly low. No, my expectations are very low. My standards vary. Or just questionable in general. Alright, I'm gonna sign off now. I think this is perfect. Putting your own name as a tag, man. You're catching on quick to this YouTube game. Sarcasm. Thank you for making sure to tell me that it's sarcasm. Because it did take a second. Like, I literally haven't done, that's probably one of the reasons that it's been so hard for me to tell people, like, hey, look me up. I literally didn't put myself in the tag. I've only started doing that, like, recently within the past few months. I don't think I can make myself sound more ridiculous than I look, so I think I just did. I'm gonna sleep deprivation does interesting things. All right, well, thank you. Oh wait, have a happy Christmas. Hope fiance and roommate like their gifts. Thank you for your help. This is all actually courtesy of parents because the lovely parents' mother. Like, again, my family, they're like, a lot of them are like stuff for us to share. It'll often be like the double thing for Sarah or one person. I'll say, now I can't put up this video. All right, this video won't go up. I could have edited out the end. Did you hear me? What's the boo for? Were you able to hear me? Could you answer? Because I'm just sitting here. This is an interesting case. I'm willing to. No, when I was. Okay, I don't think it. I think I muttered it. I thought I just doxed myself again. But I didn't actually finish saying it. Oh, perfect. Okay, because I actually didn't finish saying it. You know when you start to say say it's apple, you're like, apple. Not gonna draw attention to it or what it was, but I didn't dox anything. Here I am sitting there and I put painter's tape all over that. Yeah, I need to go before I do say something stupid and actually dox myself. But yes, I will feed the people, okay? Thank you. Not like any type of docs, either any, unless it's maybes. Then maybes is the only one that's allowed to have a name. I love the way that it's just hi, hello, me again. Nobody ever calls me anything. I just don't have a name. I've like not even Electra. Like that's just what my channel is. It's like I just don't have a name. Okay, so I did dox. No, I didn't. That's her nickname. I doxed Maybe's nickname. But do check for me. Let me know, and I'll take it down, or I'll have to figure out how to edit. And I hate editing, and it'll kill my soul. But yeah, just let me know. It'll probably be around between. You'll figure it out. Just in case I can keep this up, I'm not gonna like pay any more attention than I have. I'm tired. I don't think I. Yes, uh, yes is a cool shorthand name. Yes. It sounds like somebody's trying to say yes. It's like yes, yes. That's what it sounds like to me. Like So yeah, I really have to go. I really like seriously, dude. I'm gonna put these back on. Are these gonna become a regular now? Probably. Just how many props am I gonna get? Please eat and have a good sleep when you feel like it. Thank you. And I'm gonna probably eat, and do make sure to let me know if you hear anything. Um, I very much appreciate it. And I'm wondering how many props we'll end up having by like the end of the year. Like, okay, you take care too. Stay safe inside, all that shit. Subscribe like to if anybody else is here. I'm pretty sure you've subscribed. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye.